This is the first year since Shanahan has been the head coach that I haven't heard a fan say, yeah, Kyle Shanahan's on the hot seat. We have people talking about Shanahan getting a lifetime contract. Just sign him. Whatever he wants, sign him. This is the first season since probably 2019 that we haven't discussed Shanahan being on the hot seat.
Where do you rank that in the Kyle Shanahan era as far as wins? I went as far to say I think it's the best win he's had given the circumstances. And I know he's been at 2 Super Bowls, and I get it. The one against Detroit, a lot of people go to that one. Green Bay, obviously, where he didn't have an offensive touchdown. But just for me, just to hear all the fans, the emotion tied to it. And as you said, I think you rightfully said it, Bonta, and for you in particular and Shasky, but it was personal, this one.
I think for them too.
And to just, they were the champs.
They hate us.
They're the champs, and they hate you guys too, yeah.
John Fox has a Super Bowl. And John Fox was a good coach.
He's been a multiple.
He's a good coach, but like...
Took 2 different franchises.
If you're asking me like Marv Levy or John Fox, I'm taking Marv Levy.
All day.
Exactly. Marv Levy doesn't have any Super Bowls, right? And so like... I think it's John Madden who said it. All these games are big.
Yeah, he did.
And like we do this thing like can Shanahan win the big one? Was the Bears game a big one?
Yeah.
Up until that point it was. Was this last game, was that a big one?
I think that's a great comp when you said John Madden, who had a very similar career arc to what Kyle Shanahan's going through right now.
He kept losing to the Super Bowl champion in the AFC Championship.
4 years in a row.
4 years in a row. And finally broke through. So he understands just how big of like a player.
Year 9.
He was the team, the Raiders, they knocked off the undefeated Dolphins. And when they kept winning and winning and winning, they knocked them out. See a hands game, Bonta. So like he understood. I miss that, man.
Well, but I guess I
do miss Madden.
Like, look, on one level, it's like, yes, championships are how we break down the difference between Brady and Montana and Elway and Peyton and whoever you want to throw in there. Yeah, at some point we're measuring championships. But like to say someone's not good until they win a championship, and conversely, because you won one, you'll always be good, is just, I think it's a silly discourse.
It's interesting too, because I would reckon not a lot of people could tell me who did win as a head coach for that Denver Bronco team. Everyone remembers it was Peyton Manning's last year and Von Miller. Gary Kubiak. Yeah. Gary Kubiak won that Super Bowl. And that was it. He walked away after that. Now he had some heart problems. He had some health issues, so he had to step away. But he's been kind of low-key the architect along with Mike Shanahan of this Shanahan-style offense. So with both Kubiak brothers going up against each other, it all kind of comes full circle, doesn't it?
It does come full circle. The Shanahans, I was in the elevator with some of Shanahan's family after the Chicago Bears win. And one of them said, Kyle is light years ahead of Mike Shanahan at this point of his career. Not even close.
Wow.
Like, Kyle is brilliant. Like, and I think the world is starting to see that.
Yeah.
And he's had some great wins. Like, you said, give her the circumstances. Yeah, give her the circumstances. Knowing that you lost George Kittle, you don't have Warner. We know about all the injuries. And you're going to play the defending champions in their home where they haven't lost under Sirianni in the postseason. Yeah, this is 1-on-1. This is probably the number one win for Kyle Shanahan. But in terms of the totality of his career, I mean, he's had some great.
He has.
2019, I think we forget about Jimmy Garoppolo going up there to Seattle, throw for 285. Deebo Samuel's a rookie, and you win that game in the House of Horrors, in which the Niners weren't able to win there since 2011. So Shanahan, the 48-46 game in the Superdome against the Saints, Shanahan has had some great victories, man.
You know how I was like on the George Kittle thing before he's about to hit T.O. and everybody started like getting on it? 9 wins in the playoffs for Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
Who is the franchise leader in playoff wins?
Bill Walsh, right?
It has to be.
Tied with Seifert.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They both have 10.
Yeah. Shanahan's one behind him.
He wins and he ties Walsh and Seifert. That's pretty incredible.
That is.
Nobody brings up Jim Harbaugh.
Now, how many does he have? Jim Harbaugh.
5.
You know, I brought this up actually with Bully. This is the first year since Shanahan has been the head coach that I haven't heard a fan say, yeah, Kyle Shanahan's on the hot seat. This is the first year we've gone through with Kyle Shanahan being the head coach. Think about it. All right, the first 2 years he got a pass, right? Third year, 2019, I had my issues with Shanahan and clock management in the Super Bowl. But then every year after that, it was like, oh, he's on the hot seat. Even last year, after 2024, people were throwing out, well, he's missed the playoffs 4 times. And I'm like, well, hold on. The first 2 years were basically expansion teams. And the expectations for year 2 was actually a playoff berth because of one player. Because they made one trade with Jimmy Garoppolo. And you look at that roster overall, it's like, yeah, they weren't quite ready yet. And ever since then, they've gone to the playoffs. You had the pandemic season when you had two guys, Solomon Thomas and Nick Bosa, tear their ACLs on back-to-back plays. Think about how many injuries you saw that. So this is the first year. Think about that. We have people talking about Shanahan getting a lifetime contract. Just sign him. Whatever he wants, sign him. This is the first season since probably 2019 that we haven't discussed Shanahan being on the hot seat.
I seen this clip of The Ringer from Bill Simmons from a couple years ago, talking about the record of Kyle Shanahan. And this is a couple years back. Like, he's got a losing record and blah, blah, blah. And he did for a long time because we all know why. Like, he took over an expansion team, and they were awful, absolutely awful. And there were a couple of years where, the quarterback got hurt and the team just imploded. He has 82 wins, 66 losses. Bill Walsh has 92 wins and 59 losses. He's right there. I mean, one more year, 2 more years, he's going to pass him. Now, George Seifert's 98-30. We would all agree he took over a ready-made, organization. I still think Seifert belongs in the Hall of Fame. 98-30 is an incredible record. 82-66 career-wise. I mean, he's going to be an over 500 coach for the rest of his career.
Look, I'm happy with Kyle Shanahan.
He should be
head coach. And you think about the first 2 years. You said, what was their record, Shasky? Shanahan's record, 82 or what?
82-66.
Now, you take away the first 2 seasons. He had 10 wins, so that'd be 72 wins. You take away those wins from the first 2 years, but he also had 22 losses.
Wow.
So you take away that.
72-44.
72-44.
That's pretty freaking incredible.
Yeah. It's pretty damn good. 72-44 in the regular season. And then when you think about November and December, his teams always get better.
Yes.
And then you think about them in the playoffs, they've never been one and done, right?
No.
Never been one and done.
No. He's 9-4.
So
9-4 speaks for itself.
So the whole Jim Harbaugh, to me, the Jim Harbaugh conversation was dead after 2023.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, some people reared its ugly head last year. Oh, we'd rather have Harbaugh. Look at them with the Chargers. They went to the play. They got smoked by the Texans in the wild card round last year.
Smoked.
Their line was better.
It's funny that you're bringing all this up. So, there's one thing that you're like, hey, Baldy, what did you learn about the playoffs? Obviously, personnel, players, those things matter. It's never been more of a play caller league than right now. Yep. And I see all these guys that are getting fired or on the hot seat. Like, Sirianni's a great example. If you cannot help out one side of the ball schematically, you're so beholden to your coordinators. Yeah. And those guys are moving and coming and going and whatever.
Well, that's why the CEO head coach may be a thing of the past.
Well, that's what I'm going with this.
And I think John Harbaugh, at least he knows special teams. At least he's been a coordinator. But John Harbaugh is going to be interested to see his market. I do think he'll get scooped up by somebody.
I'm out on Harbaugh.
But I like Harbaugh. But, you got to have the right coordinators.
Yes.
And with Tom Monken in Baltimore, because Tom Monken came out and said, I didn't have the best relationship with Lamar Jackson. The thing is, with these offensive coordinators, they're looking for the next job.
Yes.
They're looking for the next job. Yeah. Defensive coordinators, Robert Saleh, Gus Bradley may be the defensive coordinator next year for the 49ers. Because Saleh may get a job.
I heard Matty Barrows was saying, hey, don't sleep on Jim Schwartz.
I would love Jim Schwartz.
That was an interesting name he brought up.
I would love Jim Schwartz. He runs more man. He still will do that 4-man front, but I love Jim Schwartz.
He said that Kyle Shanahan's always had he's always had a great relationship with him. I didn't even know that. Wow.
I would love Jim Schwartz. To me, that's better than Gus Bradley.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Jim Schwartz, you got me perking up. But, man, the imagination.
Can you bring Denzel Ward?
Can you bring him?
Miles
Garrett. Bring them all from Cleveland. Just take their defense and bring them to Santa Clara.
But look at who's left right now in the NFC. You've got Mike McDonald calling every play for the defense. You've got Sean McVay calling every play for the offense. You've got Kyle Shanahan calling every play, and Ben Johnson calling every single play. So I'm not saying that players don't matter. They clearly matter. But can you help either your side of the ball? Can you be the guy that affects the game play to play?
Well, that's why I'm worried about Mike McDaniel going to Detroit. He'd be perfect.
I agree.
Dan Campbell.
I agree.
Perfect with that personnel.
For Jared Goff,
Now, it'd be one and done because he probably, but I don't know if Mike McDaniel's
going to get another job. He might be a guy that needs a couple years.
Yeah, but I love what Ben Johnson, I remember we had this conversation a couple years ago when Ben Johnson said no to the jobs and he went back to Detroit for a year. And some people questioned it. Was like, oh, you may not get another opportunity. And I thought at that point, I was like, you know what? Not all jobs are created equal. You go to the wrong situation, you're fired in 3 years.
Robert Saleh.
You're done. Like Saleh took that Jets job.
Yep.
The Jets job's a disaster. Yep. Aaron Glenn's probably going to be out of there soon.
Yeah, he'll be done.
I mean, the Jets are a joke. The Browns are a joke.
The Raiders.
The Raiders. It's a mess. You have to
Cardinals.
get the right job.